Okay, so I'm gonna make a video on foam cannons, and I'm gonna use the SUNJOE SPX 9004 Pro as an example. It does 2 gallons a minute. With my setup with a 100-foot hose and wand everything, I'm getting about 1,000 PSI working pressure. That's when I'm squeezing the trigger, what counts. And so, because with my gas pressure washer there, that's a 2.5 gallons a minute at 2,800 working PSI. My old foam cannon, that basically now we're gonna say is this, because this one is set up the same orifice as this one was. Now this one, I put a 1.1 orifice in it, a smaller orifice. And I'll explain to y'all about there's a mesh, they call it the foam maker, up here in the front. You gotta pull this piece off. I'm about to do that for you in just a second. But the reason I'm gonna show this foam cannon first is because the reason I got this orifice was because when I went to put this foam cannon on with this pressure washer, it was like soapy water. It wasn't even foam. So that's why I got the smaller orifice. Now, when I ordered the smaller orifice, I got a package that came with the mesh foam maker. Let's see. Give me just a second. All right. I just wanted to show you all because I see people making videos about the orifice, the 1.1 orifice, but I don't see them ever changing out or talking about this mesh foam maker is what they call it. So I believe this is, just woven stainless steel. And now here is the orifice. It should have been like a 2.1 that came out of this, but this one here should have the same size orifice in it. So basically what this is what that used to be, if you're still following me. The whole reason I'm going to show you this, I'm going to show you what that used to look like before I put the new 1.1 orifice in it. That's the purpose of it. But real quick, so there's a metal pin, little aluminum pin I've got in that bag that you push out right here, and then this will slide off. Now this part here, you unscrew. I'm not going to unscrew it, but you unscrew it, and then this little mesh foam maker sits about right in here. So I took a little pick down this end and pushed it out. So this one right here is the one that came with my new 1.1 orifice. This one came with it. So when I swapped this out and put the 1.1 orifice in, I also took this off. I took the old one out and I put this new one in. And so when I went to test it, although it was foam, I was just curious because I could tell a difference by looking at this and looking at the one that originally came in this, that the one that originally came in this was more dense. It was more packed together, whereas this one, it looks like it's, more airy. I thought this one would produce better foam, but, that was just my assumption. But so it turns out the more dense one makes better foam, because that's what I did. I've got the 1.1 orifice, the new orifice, but then I went and put the old mesh foam maker back in it. Now, keep in mind, mine was in good condition because after I run soap through it, I'll put regular water in it and rinse it out. I'll fill it up about halfway with regular water, hook it up to the pressure washer gun, and I'll start to rinse the vehicle. As I'm rinsing the vehicle, it's also siphoning up fresh water, and it's running it across that mesh foam maker to clean it out, so you don't have soap and stuff drying up in it. So it keeps it working correct. So yeah, the point is that I end up getting better foam with the stock mesh piece, but with the added 1.1. But your case could be different, and so that's why I say I think it was the same price to order a kit with the 1.1 Orifice and this little deal, this mesh foam maker, as it was without it in, you know, certain ones. So I'd recommend that you get a couple of these and try them out, because it's just so easy to swap it out. It's just as easy as doing this part, if not easier. So, you know, try it, and this obviously has a big impact on what kind of foam you're going to get. So with that said, we are going to hook this up, and I'm going to show you what my old one, what it looked like before I swapped out the Orifice, what it was doing. So that way, if your foam cannon, or if you get this pressure washer and your foam cannon worked fine with your previous pressure washer or whatever, and then you turn this on and you get this kind of results. I mean, all that is just soapy water, and it's not even it just doesn't even sound right. I could just tell immediately, and it's not putting out. What worried me was that it just looks like it's not putting out enough water. But I know that that the 2 gallon a minute is enough. It's just the wrong size Orifice. And now, if I would have left this same Orifice in and just changed out the mesh part, it might have been a little better, but it wouldn't have been as significant as this other one that I'm about to show you. So hopefully y'all get the, oh, and it sucks down a ton of product. I mean, it looks like you're hardly getting any soap out, but it just sucks down the product so fast. So going over to this, with the 1.1 Orifice, it actually ends up, woo! So it actually ends up using less product. And you can, I mean, I don't know if it's going to pick up in the audio on my mic, but you can just, you know, it sounds different. You can just hear it. But hopefully that shows up too. This is more, you know, it's not the greatest foam that I've ever seen, but it is more, it's perfectly fine with me. Like I said, keep in mind, I've got 2 ounces of Chemical Guys citrus washing gloss in here, and I had that filled up. Originally it was filled up to about the 700 ml line, and then just 2 ounces in there. So obviously if I would have added 3 ounces in, then it would be even better. But you know, I want to be able to fill my bottle up, you know, about 700-800 mils, and just put 2 ounces of soap in there, regardless of what you might use. This citrus washing gloss I just got, it's the first time I've used it. So I really need to compare it to the Glossworks, Chemical Guys Glossworks, and because I think the Glossworks might foam a little better if you match it 2 ounces for 2 ounces. But this is perfectly fine with all things factored in. With that, you know, pressure washer, and you don't have to have this pressure washer. You could have one that does less gallon per minute or more gallon per minute, you know, higher pressure, less pressure, whatever, and still swap over to the 1.1 Orifice. I've seen several videos about it. Seen several people doing videos about it, and so like I said, they're swapping over that, but I haven't seen anybody talk about the little mesh foam maker part. So in my case, you know, I'm not gonna pull this apart again and redo it just because I'm in a hurry with this job, but just take my word for it, the foam was not as good with that new mesh. But like I said, every case could be different. You could order from somebody different on Amazon that has a more dense foam, or you know, there's a foam cannon you have might not have as dense of a one as this one did, but the one that comes is more dense. So, you know, what I want to do real quick while y'all are here on this video is I am going to try, this stuff is neon, I am going to try this Chemical Guys Gloss Works. So if, I mean, I never know what else I'm going to include in a video, but, you know, pretty much the reason I was making the video was just to say and show that that 1.1 orifice and that little foam mesh maker part makes a big difference, especially both of them if they're, you got them in the right combination. So that was the thing, is, you know, for those who know about the orifice but may not have known about or just didn't think about the little mesh foam maker, you know, that's something to consider if you're wanting better foam. And like I said, I also think that it uses less product than when you, it's just goes hand in hand when you're getting the better foam. It's using less product at the same time, or being more efficient with it, I guess I should say. All right, so let's see what happens here. Tell you this, I love the smell of the Chemical Guys Gloss Works. It's like a blueberry scent or something. So I don't know, if anything, the Gloss Works is just a tad better. It might not show up in camera, but the Gloss Works might be a tad better, but I guess not a huge difference. So the Gloss Works shampoo does cost more, but I've seen multiple reviews on YouTube of different guys that have tried out the Gloss Works, and that they have said as well, you know, I've seen a couple of them be their top pick. I'm drawing a blank on who, like the Forensic Detailing channel, Apex Detail. I know his favorite was the Gloss Works for a minute there. I think it's still in his top, you know, top 3, 5, whatever. It is, I really like it. It's a good shampoo or soap, and it does have gloss magnifiers in it. So, you know, if it's like, the reason I like it is that if it's a car wash and it's car wash that it's just a wash and not even going to be putting any type of wax or anything on top of it behind then, I'd like to use this just because it does add a good amount of gloss, you know, if it's just on its own. You know, if you're going to be coming behind that and using something like bead maker or something like that, then, you know, maybe it's not as important or beneficial to use the Gloss Works. You could just use a regular soap or shampoo, and then Huh. Yeah, that was the same mixture. I mean, 2 ounces. I forget what I was saying. But anyways, yeah, that was the basic point of the video, was for the Orifice and the foam mesh maker. So if y'all have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. Let me know what y'all's experiences are, both with, you know, changing the Orifice. Let me know if any of y'all have found better place to buy better, more dense foam mesh makers that are, you know, pretty much universal, like these Orifices are, and then just any general comments. So till the next one, guys, y'all either be good or be good at it.